Hello, and welcome back this week to No Icing, October 24th, 2024, Season 3, episode number 28, Yo Pienso. I think it's, yeah. So let me bring up my favorite co-host, Mr. Rory Penland, the man of 1,000 voices, to help me introduce our guest tonight. And we have a special co-host tonight that I'm going to introduce. Hi, Rory.
Sure 28?
28. Number 28.
Is it Bente?
And I have a joke for you, Rory. I was thinking all day. It was like I need a good joke for Rory. So my daughter told me this one.
Okay.
So
I like dad jokes.
Here you go, Rory. Yeah, here you go. Why did the clown go to the doctor?
Why did the clown go to the doctor? I don't know.
Because he was feeling funny.
Okay. Yeah.
I know.
It's a clown laugh.
It's a lot. But okay, so let me bring up my executive producer, my special co-host, our special co-host tonight, Miss Renee Yaworsky. Hello.
Rory, I can't believe you didn't laugh harder at that. That joke was
I did the clown laugh.
It was so funny. I loved it. I think you should. Okay, Sandy, I think you need to tell it to him again. I feel like you needed some time to let this resonate with you.
Ha, he, ha, ha.
Why did the clown go to the doctor?
Because he felt funny?
Yes, that's hilarious. It is funny. Like it really, it made me laugh so hard. It made me laugh so hard. Yeah.
So I guess you didn't have enough time.
I didn't. Sandy, I told the guys, because we went a little bit late today. We got a little bit of a late start on the earlier show. And I said, look, I have got to rush afterwards because I got to go on screen for Sandy. I got to put my makeup on. I got to do it. And it's so late and I got late. I'm in bed right now.
12 minutes late.
I have
and we did a short show. We only did like 55 minutes.
I know, but I had to make dinner. I had to eat dinner. I had to get into my PJs. I had to take a shower. I had to brush my teeth. Now I'm in bed. It's 10:10 on the East Coast. I'm an old person. I'm half asleep.
It's old. Or it's late.
Sandy, like if it's 10-10 on your side, don't you get a little bit tired? I get tired.
Yeah.
Just showing my age, but I get tired at that age.
I was
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
Tired. I went to work today, so.
But you guys look like $1,000,000 like always. I don't know where you get the energy. I wish I had the same energy.
Got my shoulder brace on.
You look amazing, both of you. What the hell? That's another reason. It's a good thing I'm not on
Rotator
camera
cuff.
right now. I don't want to compete with this. I don't want. And then we're gonna have Travis on.
You
Travis
always
is
look
also
beautiful, Renee.
Travis is always so youthful, and he's got vim and vigor. Everyone's got vim and vigor. What's going on?
Vim and vigor. Wow.
Everyone's taking B complex. I feel like everyone's getting their B injections.
That introduction, we should bring him right up. He is full of vim and vigor.
He is.
Grab us, Lohmann.
Hi, all.
I told you. Look at him. Look at him. He looks like as fresh as morning dew all the time.
And for the record, I mean, it is 7:10-ish here, so it's still early-ish for us.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
The vim and the vigor has not drained out yet.
Not yet, no. I couldn't help but notice Rory doing the Heath Ledger Joker laugh thing earlier.
Thank you for spotting.
I was like, oh man, I was just watching Dark Knight the other evening. I was like, oh, I miss that so much. I miss that movie. I miss that performance. And then he throws that in. I was like, oh.
Well, you're a man after
Joker.
Rory knows everything about those movies. He could probably tell you all of the minutia. He's like a real movie guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about the films. They're just like behind the scenes facts or the history behind it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. He died in a hotel room by himself.
That I heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, Sandy, thank you for having me on too, by the way.
I'm excited. We've become friends over the years, and I just love hanging out with you. Always.
Yeah, when you were saying episode 28 and season 3, that's wow, that's a lot. Y'all have done a lot of content over these years.
Yeah, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy getting to know my guests, and by having them on my show, I really get to know people, and that's like the best. That's like the best reward,
Yeah, definitely.
And we could be goofballs together too.
I know. That's part of the reason why. Oh yeah, I finally unveiled my panda bear from his bamboo shoot.
Oh,
I figured for this show, I might as well. Generally, it just hibernates on the inside, but for tonight, I figured I might as well.
He's so cute.
I didn't know that they hibernated inside bamboo shoots. I didn't.
I know, right? I got this as a gift from one of my music students, and she's just like, "Here you go." And I was like, "What is this?" I thought it was like a pea pod or something like that.
That's
and
what
she's
it looks
like,
a pea pod.
Yeah. She's like, "No, it's a panda bear on the inside." I was like, "Oh,
it's a panda pea pod."
He's hiding in the bamboo. It's so cute.
Crazy,
it's an Invasion of the Body Snatchers panda toy.
Oh my Lord.
Now I was going to meet up. We were trying to meet up when we went back in April, Renee. We me and my family, we were going to try to meet up with Travis.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. I got stuck in traffic, but we went.
That's
we
right.
spent one night in Vegas.
Yeah. I was just going to say, how far is it from Vegas to San Diego?
It's 6 hours drive if you don't hit
6
traffic.
6 hours? Wow.
We hit traffic. It ended up taking like 9 hours. By the time we got there, we were hungry, tired. We had to get these kids to sleep. It just didn't work out. And then on the way back, we just drove right through Vegas. We didn't even stop on the way home. We just wanted to get home.
Yeah. I mean, for the record, it is one of those cities that you kind of just, go through and, occasionally sightsee some things and leave. I mean, if you don't plan it out accordingly,
I love Vegas. I've been to Vegas many times. I love it.
It's a great city.
It's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. I mean, and I guess I could testify to that being here for, ever since I was like 4. I mean, seeing 90s Vegas and now it's kind of, I don't know. It's just different. I kind of miss bits and pieces of the older 90s Vegas.
Me
a
too.
lot.
Didn't they just? I saw
I
some
do as
video.
well.
They just took
Older
down the
Vegas.
Tropicana, right?
Yeah, they did. Yep,
The
yeah,
whole
they did.
Tropicana down. All that
Mr.
history is
Sands.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
there's a
got
lot
Carrot
of
Top.
Yeah. And then just like, shows come and go and buildings come and go. The Hard Rock was here for a while. They're getting rid of that. They're going to put a new location in soon. So
They're getting rid of Hard Rock.
they already did. And then they're going to bring a new location of it back.
Yeah, it's
So-
all the
Okay.
new Vegas.
This is like an upgrade.
Oh my gosh.
We stayed at one of the really older hotels, and it was really reasonable.
Flamingo?
The Four
Circus.
Queens. We stayed by Fremont Street. The Four Queens.
I've heard that that's actually not bad.
It's not bad
yeah.
for the price.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a room. We had a place to sleep.
Yeah.
The last
had a
time I went
parking
there, we were booked at the Luxor and
Yeah.
waited like an hour and a half to get to the front register, only to be told that we couldn't use the credit card that we were using. So I ended up having to go to the Howard Johnson's around the corner. But I ended up saving like, I think it was like $126 a night at the Hojo's.
Yeah. Luxor's really nice. Mandalay's really nice. But recently over the summer, I was doing that whole NAACP music judging competition thing. So we were actually put up at the Mandalay just for the day's event. And some of the judges came from out of town, so they stayed in the Luxor, and then they had to cart themselves over walking to Mandalay. So that took forever for them. But luckily, I could kind of just drive and parking. Parking has been a huge issue here too now since everything is paid, and it never used to be that way. It sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. It's like everywhere now. It's like there's no. Yeah, for locals too. I was like, this is not cool.
Parking meters have a handle on them.
Gosh.
And Renee, I wanted to mention, I'm not sure if you're aware, but one of our community members, Cheryl Rand Wildeboer, had a car accident, and everyone's trying to get together as a community and raise money. So Rebecca Tawney is asking if everyone can. I'm going to share the link right now, Renee, and then if anybody wants to help. She lost her car, was totaled, and I think she has. She got injured, so everyone's trying to come together as a community. So if anybody would like to donate, I'm going to be sharing the link on Jay's Jam Fest on Saturday, and I wanted to share it tonight and just start getting the word out there. But here's the link.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awful. That sounds terrible. So I love how the community comes together to support people whenever they have need, and Jay's Jam Fest, and I think Socially Distant Fest also.
Oh yeah, SDF. That's right. Yeah, it's been a while. I miss SDF.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Sandy, for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess she's gonna be. So the money will go to her Venmo. She said that's the easiest way for her, and then she'll get it to Cheryl because Cheryl's in New Zealand. So
oh my gosh, wow,
there's like an exchange rate and everything. I guess
that's right. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that gets alleviated swiftly and whatnot, because that's got to just be devastating to have.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrible. Yeah.
But one of these days when I next time, it's just hard with kids. Vegas wasn't really the kid friendly is, so
even if the Griswold family has stated time and again that it
I
is.
know. How did they make that work? I guess that was
Right?
like the 80s, right? It was
the
back
kids
when it
were
was
older.
like,
Yeah,
Like
the
you
kids
said,
were
back in the 90s, yeah.
Right.
Back
I
when
think that
was king.
I want to say that film was, I don't know, Rory, you might know. I want to say like 84 or 85.
yeah,
or am I completely
something
wrong?
like that.
85?
Definitely way long ago.
Let me check.
Vegas Vacation, right? That I want to say 84 or 85.
Christmas Vacation was 89.
Right.
So
Christmas Vacation was 89. So Vegas Vacation came before, I believe.
Oh, okay. Vegas Vacation. I thought it came after.
I love that film.
97.
It's
Oh,
good.
really? Okay.
1997. What did I tell you?
Oh,
No.
Yes.
No
Okay.
way.
So it was 90s Vegas, like you said.
That's
it is
crazy.
90s Vegas. Yeah, it's I don't know if it's more family friendly now. There are definitely more family friendly things. The Smith Center opening up was probably one of the best things for us.
We wanted to go to Mandalay Bay, but the traffic just ruined all the things that we had planned. We were
it's
3 hours of extra traffic, just not moving.
Well, and then it's a nightmare once you enter the strip too, trying to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole.
Yeah, we just parked. We parked at the hotel and we just went by foot. We didn't leave the hotel after that until it was time to leave the state in the morning.
Right.
But also you have a new album drop, I hear.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
thank you. That one, so that's with Hit Music Lab, which is partnered with Warner Chappell Music. So it's more of an industry release for use of film, television licensing, whatnot. That took about, I want to say like 7 or 8 months to write. And originally, I think I shopped it around maybe 2 or 3 people, 2 or 3 publishers, and I didn't hear anything back. And I happened to find Hit Music Lab through Facebook, of all things, through one of our music forums. And originally, prior to this, I contributed 2 tracks to one of their other instrumental albums. And from there, kind of just this took off. And I was like, hey, I've got these 5 pieces. Can we do something with it? Can you use them? And so Jay, who's in charge of Hit Music Lab, he's like, can you make it 6? And I was like, okay, fine. I'll write one more. It wasn't originally supposed to be that. Like the whole idea was like, if you read through the titles, it's kind of like a concept album of like instrumental caper underscore type music, but it like takes you through the stages of like doing a caper. So it was supposed to be like 5 tracks and done. And he's like, can you write one more? I was like, ugh. Now this is kind of like, I have to kind of figure out how to kind of put this in and not disrupt the flow. So luckily that worked.
Well, that's amazing. And you accomplished all that while you're teaching and working full time.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Admittedly, weekends are kind of when I can kind of sit back and kind of try to figure out how to make this work. And so a lot of it is, trying to keep common thematic elements, common themes throughout, kind of bringing back elements from previous tracks and maybe throwing them into new ones and seeing if anybody notices. I like to do that a lot. But overall, I mean, I'm pleased with how it turned out. I'm pleased that the label took it because Warner Chappell has been on my list, on my radar for the past 2 or 3 years. The other big label is Universal Music, which hopefully I've got a couple things brewing for that, and hopefully that comes through. So
wow.
fingers crossed. I don't know. Yeah, I just did. Yeah.
Impressive. Wow.
No, thank you. So yeah, there's a label I started working with last year, and they're kind of tied in with Universal. So I did 2 tracks for that, and we're just gonna see what happens. I call it, throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. So I hope, because that would be awesome to have that as well. Was it Lorraine's asking? When did
you had a few questions coming in. Lorraine O'Leary, when did you start playing piano?
Yeah, so Lorraine, I started when I was 4 because my mother felt that I needed something to do, and I'm not very athletically inclined. So we started taking lessons together.
You weren't at 4.
Yeah, well, so I'm still not now. I don't think. So my mother and I started taking lessons together, and then she stopped after a year or two. I kept going. Is anyone else in the family musically gifted? I don't know if I would call myself musically gifted. I would call myself a hard worker. No one is musically inclined in the family. So I think it's just me. For the record, I'm an only child, so
Get all of
I don't-
mommy and daddy's love.
they were all just like, one's enough. Is literally my mom's verbatim, words. She's just like, no, one's enough. We're like, huh. That's how that works. Okay.
It sounds like you were a good kid, though.
I tell my students all the time, I wasn't really that person where the parents would have to tell the kid to get on the homework or anything like that. So it was kind of just, I don't know what you want to call it. Driven and self-motivated, I suppose, or maybe just had way too much free time on his hands.
Yeah. And like a lot of people see you play piano because you do go live occasionally and play piano for us, but maybe some people don't. I don't know if some people, I have a little clip I could show, but
Sure.
you are really, really great at violin.
So so violin is I like to consider it my secondary instrument. I picked it up end of 5th grade, but played throughout all of high school. So I wouldn't consider my proficiency on it the same as piano, obviously, but a close-ish second. Yes, Sandy. I mean, if you want to run that, go ahead, for sure.
Okay. Let's show everybody. It's so cute.
I don't think I've seen you play. Yeah.
You never saw him play? Okay, hold on.
I don't know if you want to see me play.
It's great. Wait, hold on.
Sure.
And he says it's great.
All right, kiddo. You asked for a piece, so I went through my books, and I think I found something for you. I think it's a really good fit. Let me know what you think. Here we go. Oh man, I remember that one. That was recent too.
Awesome.
So good.
So
I
that
would
was
love
actually
that.
yeah. So actually that was one of my 8th grade kiddos is going to try to audition for one of the magnet schools here in Vegas, which is more geared towards performing arts and whatnot. And she's been hounding me for like a year now, just like, can you find a piece for me just as an audition piece to get ready, and we can get this together before she has to audition in like February-ish, whatnot. And I was like, you know what, I'll sift through what I have and just kind of peruse through the books that I have, and kind of came across that one. That one's near and dear to my heart, that Bach Bourrée, because that was one of the pieces I learned back when I was in 8th grade. But it's been however long it's been, I'm dating myself now, 23 years. Yeah, it's been 23 years since I've looked at that one. So yeah, I was like, I gotta find something for her. Boom. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Was it Hillary Hahn has this quote of saying that playing Bach keeps you honest when you're playing, because there's no way to really hide your mistakes. Everything's just so exposed, and every note needs to be clearly articulated. Every phrase needs to be clearly articulated. You can't really hide intonation mistakes or anything like that. So he's kind of one of the composers that is near and dear to a lot of musicians' hearts.
Wow. Yeah. And I just had my heart broken because I got my daughter some violin lessons I told you about.
Oh yeah.
She lasted about, 3 or 4 sessions. And then she forgot to bring her violin on the last day. And I said, and she wasn't practicing.
She didn't forget.
She wasn't practicing. And I said, you know what? I said, I'll take those violin lessons if you don't want them.
I mean, yeah. For the record, I mean, I tell my orchestra students too, of all the instruments, the chin instruments like violin and viola are very awkward when you're first starting, because it's not a natural thing to have to set an instrument up and be able to hold it properly using your shoulder and your side of your jaw. It's just not something people do. So, if I was a string player starting off again, I probably would have gravitated more towards cello, because it's just one of those things that it just sits. Yeah, it just sits so well, But no, I can totally sympathize with your daughter, because it's not one of those instruments that's like, and then you have to.
If you're James Bond, you can ride down a snowy mountain in the case.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes. And just like, the physical, I guess, like agility and stamina of having to build up your fingers, as with anything, guitar is kind of the same way. If you don't build that up regularly, you kind of lose that, and it's going to hurt for a while, as I tell my orchestra students, there's no crying in orchestra though, just deal with it.
You know what, Travis, my whole life could have been different. I still have my first violin. When I was 2, I was taking violin Suzuki.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I came up through Suzuki, and I did it for like a year, but again, it was like Sandy's daughter, I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't stick with it. So I went to piano at age 3, but then I didn't stick with it the way you did. Like, you really went deep into these instruments to the point where you're very proficient, and then you're a virtuoso even, and then you're even training others. I let it go by the wayside. So I'm so regretful. I wish that my parents had pushed me more, because because it's great. Like, I'm a jack of all trades, master of nothing when it comes to that, so I ended up with pop music, which is fine, but I really respect the compositional genius that you bring to the table. I mean, your new record, you're able to actually you get to synthesize all of the different instruments and make these beautiful melodies, counter melodies, harmonies. It's shocking how many layers are in your compositions.
Thank you. I mean, I tell my students a lot, even being a somewhat string player, but more of a piano player, I still feel like piano provides that really strong foundation for one's musical education, just because it just lays everything out, I mean, without going too far deep into music theory here, but I mean, even just learning your basic scales, learning your basic chords, and being able to see that laid out. It's even different looking at it on a guitar fretboard, because I mean, it doesn't really translate as visually as seeing it here, So I mean, I still recommend a lot of my students to kind of take piano if they can, just because it just provides so much more of a framework. But you're right, Renee. I mean, delving deep into these instruments, I don't know if it was ever really part of the plan. It just kind of happened. I remember when I was in freshman music theory as a music major in college, and you have a lot of these people that enter as music majors, mainly a lot of band students, percussion students, and a lot of them enter as a music major because the high school music experience was fun. That one time at band camp or all those festivals and all that. It's a lot of fun. So you enter in as a music major thinking it's going to be fun. And what you're not told is it's not about the fun part of it. It's a lot of work. And I remember in music theory, first year, technically it would have been second year because I tested out at first year. But first year for me, the instructor's like, look to your left and look to your right. A lot of these people are going to be gone by the time winter break hits. And she was right. A lot of them left. And you never see them again. And there's a lot of work to go in being a music major. I know, like, back when I was starting off as a freshman, your standard college day was like 12 credits. And a lot of our music majors would do 18 to 20 or 22-ish. And it was just that was the norm. You'd start at 8 o'clock in the morning. You'd have class, maybe a short break in between. You'd have your ensembles. You'd have your solo repertoire classes. That would go till like 5 or 6 in the evening. And that was kind of standard,
You have the best stories about your students, Renee. Don't you love?
I'm obsessed with, like, I want a reality show, right? Because because here's the thing. If people haven't been following him and watching, he posts these little vignettes of him teaching his students, and the camera is trained on him. And you get to see him in action, and he's so physical, and he's so funny, and he's so intense, and he's doing incredible things when you think of a conductor, and he's very youthful and vibrant and all of that. And he's just he's so regimented and strict, and he demands so much of his scholars, as he calls them. But at the same time, he's so jovial and fun and witty that he's not a scary sort of strict person. He's like a fun strict person because he demands a lot. He respects his scholars, and he expects them to respect the art, right, Travis?
I feel like, and I tell the students this a lot. I mean, like, I see music differently and I hear music differently. And so if things don't kind of coalesce well, it does irk me some. So, I mean, yes, I do expect, the work to be put in. I think especially when you're dealing with a certain specific age group, you can't be like that overly maniacal, strict instructor that maybe high school could pass off on. I can see a high school director being more, you have to take your student group for what it is, and not to bring up Whiplash the movie, if anyone's seen it, but I mean, like, Rory, did you? Okay, so you, okay, yeah. I mean, I was like, if any movie is going to make music education look really, really bad, that's the film that's going to make it look really, really bad.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a fair picture either. That was like the furthest extreme.
Well, yeah. And again, that was the whole point of the film was, every now and again you get the one instructor who's just like, But that brings me back to what you were talking about different instruments. I played drums in high school.
Yeah.
And didn't continue after high school. I got into acting and decided to go that route with the thespians and all. But there are two instruments where you can actually play just the one instrument, and you can do a whole song. And it's not like when you're playing a violin by yourself, like you did in the clip there. It's like, okay, that's nice, but you're missing an orchestra.
You are.
But with piano. Yeah, I mean, if you go into an audition and you do a singing audition, all you need is a guy on a piano to play your song for you, and you got the whole song. And again, guitar is the same way. In a lot of ways, you can play a song on guitar, and people are not missing any other instrument there. But that's just my perception.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
But piano, for sure. I mean, you could. I mean, there are clubs that like dueling pianos that you just have pianos playing. And that's the music.
Yes.
Should I play the other clip?
Yeah, Sandy, why don't you roll that one, and then I can talk about that a little bit too.
Okay, let's roll the clip.
Let's roll it.
Yay.
I
Very
remember
nice.
that one. Thank you. Yeah,
But
that
again,
was,
I could just listen to you doing the piano doing that song, and I'd be fine.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I think that's when I was getting heavily into my experimentation with OBS because I wanted to do like a dual screen thing. I had seen, several performers like do like multi-tracking and like split screen stuff, and I just wanted to give it a go because I never really tried it before. So it was like doing 2 separate takes. You'll see in the violin one, I had the headphones synced so I could kind of just go off of the audio of the piano track that originally was done first and just link them up together, which was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do. It was kind of a pain at first to try to get all that synced up, but definitely something that I need to do more in the future, I feel.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, that was kind of one of those one take things where whatever happens happens.
Well, and you're used to laying down a track and then mixing them all together with your programs, right, on the computer. But to actually do it with a video is kind of different.
Yeah, this is more, I want to try to just do each pass one time and whatever happens, happens. So, I laid down the piano part first, and then just kind of improvised the violin part over top. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's very different doing it like this than when I'm in my very, teched out studio
Video, yeah.
tracking individual parts and just editing and editing and editing. I have a composition student right now that I'm working with music production. I was like, whoever's told you that, it's this beautiful, amazing, like no worries at all, like life of being a composer. I mean, a lot of it is like extremely detailed, extremely like, you have to go over each part and just, it's a lot of work. We don't see that part a lot. We see the product,
Very precise.
Yeah, that final product, I mean, it's always something to share your art. I think that's what I've come to learn more as I've gotten older is, the sharing of the art is always a wonderful feeling. But the process of going through and writing these pieces it's a lot, it's a lot, especially, for me, whether it's a hindrance or not is fussing over every detail. Sometimes I have to kind of learn to let things go. And that's tricky for me to do.
Yeah. Because you become such a perfectionist, especially if you're a teacher. I can only imagine.
And it's a good and a bad thing. At some point in time, you're eventually just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to call it what it is, and we're going to just move on from there. One of the pieces I wrote like back 2 years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. It was from the portraits collection for my Piano Pronto catalog for sheet music, which I'm still trying to finish up that catalog as well. And I was doing the takes here at the piano, and we're getting into like, we're getting into double digits of like the number of takes that we're doing. And finally, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to call it. And whatever happens, happens. So we just put that one out. But, eventually you're getting into like upper 30s, upper 40s. I was like, I don't want to keep retaking the same piece because then I start running into this weird issue of the integrity of the piece is lost now. So, I can't have both. It's like I have to choose one or the other. I can't have a note perfect performance and maintain the integrity of it. I had to like pick and choose.
Understand.
Yeah, that's tough. I can see how that's tough.
Yeah.
But you're good at, I mean, you're really good at it. Like you just, the fact that you compose that music for like TV shows and
So a lot of those tracks over the years have been licensed out for shows and stuff, which I'm very, very grateful for. You never know where your music is going to land. You never know where your music's going to be used at. It'd be the most unexpected places. The most recent one was a track that I did back in 2022, I believe it was. And that got picked up for Germany's Next Top Model with Heidi Klum. So it got used for one of those episodes. But I mean, it went 2 years without anything at all. So I mean, never know what's going to happen. I was like, when did this occur? And the publisher emailed me. It was just like, hey, your piece got used here. By the way, here's the clip. But I was like, huh. It took 2 years.
How do you put it out there for people to find it?
So a lot of times what ends up happening is I'll actually get contacted by the sync agents that put out the music, and they'll send me a clip, and I'll just share it via social media like that. In terms of like actually like finding the episodes, I would actually have to track it down myself, because sometimes these things are kind of like not under lock and key, but like even we don't really know where it would be used. So like for me, I would end up going back through my my ASCAP statements and being like, oh, my piece was used on this episode. It was used at this time and point. And then I could actually go back, find the episode on something like, Hulu or YouTube or whatnot, and then link it. It's really cool, to see your stuff being used.
That's different than cataloging, because, I told you about, I had a guest that is really into cataloging and basically got away from teaching music and now is just really focused on the cataloging music. So I guess that's a different way of doing things. So I'm not.
What you're referring to kind of sounds like a music library catalog of a bunch of artists' music ready to be used at any time.
And that's exclusively to those production companies like Allison White.
Correct.
Renee, do you remember Allison?
Rory, yeah, of course. Yeah.
She works specifically with I guess these agencies, and her catalogs are licensed just to those agencies, I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand the difference, but
so basically it's kind of like you have music supervisors that run music libraries, and then you've got music libraries that'll shop out music for production companies and shows to use. So it's always very interesting to see where your music lands, because you don't know. I mean, I'll never know either where it lands until far down the line. Obviously, the new thing with tech and composers is the AI battle. That's I don't know if I want to say it's raging on, but I mean it's definitely there. And so with new companies coming out with ways to create AI music, it's definitely shaking up the landscape some. I still believe that music needs a human touch and a human factor, and just it needs that behind it. And so, obviously there's been talks of productions using AI generated music. Hopefully, I mean, that doesn't really come to pass, but that would suck. I can't stand it, and I've seen some of the sites that allow you to use AI generators to create music. It's definitely it's very intriguing to me on one end, but then it's also kind of a little scary on the other. It's very intriguing where you can just write into your prompt what you want, and then it'll spit it out. I was like, ooh, what would have taken me 3 weeks to write, it's done in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think a lot of poets and writers, poetry, poets, writers, and what else, Renee?
Artists for sure. I mean, artwork. There's a ton of
it's everyone. Now AI could just do it like that, and it's songwriters. I was going to say songwriters. Renee's a songwriter, so. Just AI just whips up a song, give it a couple words, and bam, it puts it into a song. Creates a song.
And it's interesting when I talk with my non-music pals or people that are kind of musicians, but like not really like musicians full time, and they journey into this AI world, and it's very interesting to hear their perspective of it. You get the one side that's like, well, you know, I'm so incredibly proud of this song that I wrote using AI. And it's like amazing because this is my piece. And it's really hard to try to understand that mindset because I can't fully wrap my head around it. I get where they're coming. They're like, yeah, this is my piece of music that I wrote. I don't really know much about music at all, but I just typed some stuff in and boom, this is mine. And I was like, I don't know if you can make that argument. I don't know if that could hold any water, you know?
Yeah, it was AI.
But it's mine. And I was like, oh, I don't.
No, it wasn't. It was AI.
I
AI
was
did
like,
it all.
You know,
I wonder
and
what Dennis Chardon would say about that, Renee. He's really into it. AI.
Well, this is more of a legal, so this is more of a legal thing. So the head lawyer of SAG, SAG, he came out, and I was in a live stream with him, and he said, you know what? He looks like he's in maybe his early 50s. He said, the rest of my legal career will be about AI. Because we're talking about actors' rights, we're talking about arts and AI. Now, here's the thing when it comes to music, though, and I think Travis will agree with me. You're never going to be able to have AI take the place of live performance, collaborative live performance, the human element. And that's where the money is anyway. That's what Taylor Swift is making all her money off of, is the live concerts. And people want to go to the symphony, right, Travis? People want to go and have the collaborative experience. I don't think that we're ever going to allow AI to go there. As to legally, like if you can just type a few prompts and then it writes a song and it's like quote unquote yours, I find that fascinating as an attorney because of course we have all of these court cases from sampling back in the day, Ice Baby and Queen and all of that, and it's fascinating stuff. But at the end of the day, regardless of what AI does or doesn't do, we're never going to be able to replace the human element. And I think even just the bragging rights, I think that people in their gut, they're going to know the difference between what Travis is doing and what I might be able to do on an app by typing a couple words. I mean, I think people know the difference. And so I'm interested to see how this plays out. But Travis actually is a performer as well, so that's another thing. And you have something coming up too, right, Travis? You have something right around the corner.
I'm sure I do. I
just saw an ad that because you did an
ad.
I saw
you have something coming up.
Oh yeah, that show I'm doing. Yeah, that's it. That's
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh. What did I post about? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you have an ad that's for this show.
No. Okay, I remember now. No, actually, what it was I was actually going to attend the Awakening show at the Wynn, which
that's what I'm talking about. You're going to attend it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which I have been dying to see that show ever since it's come out, but tickets have been like $175 per person, I think it was the cheaper seats. But gorgeous show, and I've been wanting to see it for the past year. Finally, they had some discounted tickets, so it's about time, I feel. Brian Tyler is the composer of that music. He's the guy that wrote the music for Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, number 7. I'm trying to think what else he's done. Yeah, so he did the music for that. It's gonna be awesome to see like a live stage production. So I'm super amped about that. And then what Renee was talking about with going to see a symphony orchestra live. Yeah, I don't think anything can replace that experience. It's just it's something where you just have to be there to see it. It has to be something. Now with the more popular concerts of film music and orchestra live, or video game music and orchestra live, that's getting younger audiences to come see this. I mean, not many young people might want to go see a symphony orchestra concert of, you know, Gershwin and Bernstein or whatnot. I mean, I would, but you know, if we can get them in to see, like, you know, their favorite themes from Minecraft or Roblox or their favorite, you know, Call of Duty games,
I
I'm
love
all
how
for
you
it.
know kids. You know so much about what the kids are into. I love that.
Yeah, I try to. A lot of it I don't understand, but I try to. You know,
I don't understand it. I'm a mom and I don't get it.
I know what Minecraft is, but Roblox, I promise you, it makes no sense. Like Roblox makes no sense to me, and
You ever go into the Roblox
gave up
universe?
at Roblox.
Really?
none of it has made any sense to me. I'm trying
Talk
to
about
desperately.
AI.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, in terms of AI music and whatnot, you know, I mean, live performances obviously are a huge selling.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mr. Lohmann, I forgot my violin today.
Oh my gosh.
And I just got my nails done.
It'll always be
Do I have to
battle.
play today? Can I take a day off?
My kiddo today, you know, with her kind of long, very well done nails, you know, tried to do her playing test today and repeatedly couldn't land the one note. And I was like, I'm telling you, I'm not crazy when I tell you this. You can't put your finger down properly on the string. You could try it a million times. It's not going to work. I'm not insane. She's like, this isn't working. I was like, no kidding. It's not working.
But they
I've been telling you.
Nails. They love those nails.
Oh my God, they're so.
I don't know how you do it. I mean, I guess I used to, when I was younger, have the long nails too. So I guess I can understand, but like, it's so important to them these days.
Well, yeah, I'm visually seeing it in my head today too of what happened, because, you know, she's trying to go for that fourth finger A, and you have to like rotate your arm slightly in and kind of like really get that finger onto the string and press. And the pinky's already naturally weak to begin with. And then she has like that nail that's there, and she's like, it's not pressing down. I was like, yeah, I know. I told you this. We've been over this many times. You can't stick the landing. And so, you know, it's tricky. You know, I've kind of, you know, over the years have learned to pick the battles, and I just don't bring it up. And then just after the fact, when they see their grade, they're like, well, why'd you give me like a lower score out of 50 points? I was like, well, because you didn't land like a lot of the notes. I could lie to you and just give it to you. I mean, if you want to do that, that's a whole other discussion we can have. Or I could just be brutally honest with you and give you like 32 out of 50 points and call it a day, you know? But I understand that the girls don't want to get those removed because they're pricey and expensive. And I didn't know that they were that pricey and expensive.
They're
but,
like
you know,
$200 nowadays.
Right. Yeah. And I was like,
with all the designs and stuff, it's like they pay like $200.
It's like, you know, that part. Yeah, it's the part from the Spider-Man movie when Tobey Maguire is like, I missed the part where that's my problem. Well, I missed the part where that's my problem. So, you know, you not sticking the landing on your playing test has nothing to do with me. Has everything to do with you.
Harsh.
Renee, did you ever have the long nails?
I never had the long nails because I was playing guitar from like age 11, so I never could do that. You just can't.
But you could grow out the nails for the strumming hand.
Yeah, but that looks so creepy. Like, you know, people who do that, you know, like the acoustic masters, they'll have like one hand really long nails.
Yes, right. Yeah.
But I was doing electric back then, so it was I didn't have to do that.
Right.
Travis, I wanted to know, like, how is school generally? How is it different in your generation versus the ones you're teaching now? I mean, now they have all the school shooting drills. They have social media, online bullying, like a 24-hour cycle of bullying, you know, the Snapchat drama and all that. Like, how is it different?
Are we so Ray, are you saying like compared to when I was in school?
Compared to when you were in school, yeah, like social media.
God, I mean, for one thing, I mean, I didn't get my first cell phone until senior year of high school, I believe.
Right.
And it was one of those prepaid Kyocera flip phone things with, you know, a 2.5-inch screen. You couldn't really do anything on it, which is fine. You know, I mean, we weren't even thinking about stuff like that back then. Social media wasn't even really a concept that would even register in our brains. Nowadays, fast forward how many years later, it's just like, I think screen time is a huge issue. The amount of time that kids are spending on social media channels, just kind of, they're in this own little universe, and it's kind of scary. There's like, lack of going outside and being with the outside world, and being stuck in this place where you just spend all your time kind of being in this digital universe. It's not really something I can fully wrap my head around, because even though I'm well versed in technology, I still am, making a conscious effort to, get out of that space as well. I think it's important as an artist. I definitely think the school landscape's changed a lot with safety, for sure.
Right.
I don't remember doing school shooting drills when I was, growing up. I really don't, obviously, when I was a middle schooler, the big thing was when September 11th hit. I would have been in 7th grade during that time. That was huge for us. I mean, like, every teacher's rolling out the TV, and like that was 24/7. That was huge for us. But like, just school tragedies and whatnot, and this ultra hypersensitive awareness that teachers need to be on now.
Yep.
I don't feel like it really existed,
It was
You have to have your spidey sense.
Yeah. Like, do you and your colleagues have fear as teachers? I mean, when you're going into a school environment, is that something that you guys talk about?
I don't know. I don't think we consciously think about it. I'm sure it's always in the back of our head. I mean, over the course of how many years, we've had a couple lockdown drills, a couple over the couple of years, we've had lockdowns, hard lockdowns. It just depends, and it depends on your location. It depends on where you're at. But I don't really think any school's immune to anything like that. I think the landscape's changed a lot for students, especially on the bullying end. You'll find schools and kids will start like nonstop Instagram social media pages and just post like bullying stuff. I mean, that's common. I mean, they'll post footage and things like that of the day, and not think about the consequences of their actions, because I mean, doing something like that is a violation of someone's privacy, and they're just freely posting it out, not thinking about, the things down the line. So I mean, it's gotten scarier on that end, I feel.
Yeah. That's true. Now the question that I need to what the heck goes on in the teachers lounge? Because I always wanted to know, what is the teachers lounge? What goes on in there? Is there like really amazing rides or carnivals, or what's going on?
I mean, Ray, I hate to disappoint you, but I mean, you're asking the wrong person, because I don't really go into the teachers lounge.
No, I would just go in there.
Chippendale dancers.
It seems like a secret hideout,
I mean, I will go in there to check my mailbox in the morning occasionally, but I mean, I don't really, when there are, big luncheons for, say, things like, I'm trying to think, maybe like Cinco de Mayo, we might do something, or maybe like, what's one? I know we did one where we had like a bunch of soul food one day, and that was amazing.
Oh my God.
So they just lay it out. No, for that, for that, I will go in. I was like, I have never eaten so much fried catfish and collard greens and candied sweet potatoes.
Oh, like a potluck?
Yeah.
Like a huge one. Yeah. Just like, now that was wondrous. Yes. It was amazing. But generally I just don't go in the lounge. What was it? Oh, what was it, Ray? You mentioned sampling, and you were talking about what the Queen Vanilla Ice thing.
Yeah.
But what was it? I know obviously he's been in some huge hot water lately, but I believe Diddy has to pay Sting how
Yep.
much every single time for the every breath
Every
you take
breath,
thing that he
every breath. Yeah.
yeah. Because he sampled it, and I don't think he cleared it, right? He didn't clear it at all. So it's like, nope, sorry, I gotta pay you. No.
Yep,
He
and then
didn't
he
clear
just had to keep
something?
paying him.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, so then he just has to keep paying him. Exactly. The sampling thing is
Oh
crazy.
yeah, Sting. Well, I got this videotape of you at my house at this party.
Oh my God.
That's probably how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me I got to pay you again.
I was like, I totally forgot about that piece, but that's right, yeah, because every breath you take has that really awesome that guitar lick there,
Yep.
and or the bass lick, and yeah, I guess Diddy just took that and ran with it, and
He totally ran with it. Yeah, he took
The
it.
coolest thing they ever did with
Woman
that
beater.
song is when they on the Sopranos they mixed it with the Peter Gunn theme. When the guys were putting the stuff in it, the secret stuff in Tony Soprano's house, they mixed those two songs together, and the track on the record or on the CD is terrible. It's not as good as, but on the TV show it was perfect.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was so cool.
I need to go back and revisit that. Actually, I need to totally go back and revisit that. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome mashup for sure.
Yeah, there's a guy on TikTok that does great mashups, this fantastic mashups.
Who?
Like the Batman theme from 1966 with the Munsters theme. I mean, that kind of cool stuff. It's just,
I love it. I love it.
It's stuff you would never think would work together, and he does it. He makes it work. It's just
You
amazing.
go live on TikTok, Travis?
I occasionally do. Let me see. Live on TikTok, no. Have I posted TikToks? Yes. Live on TikTok, I don't think I've done. But yeah, that's a platform I haven't really tapped into much. But I know that there's huge growth there if you know how to kind of work that angle. But I've put up a couple music performances here and there, short little clips. I've noticed with TikTok, you kind of have to keep it relatively brief, I feel. Like, so my general 5 minute, 6 minute, musical what am I trying to say? Extemporaneous performances. That wouldn't really work. Just trim it to 1 minute and just get the most of it out.
Until you get 1,000 followers, you're limited to do only 15 seconds, 30-second videos. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they won't let you do lives until you get 1,000 followers.
Yeah, once you have 1,000 followers, you could go live all day long, as long as you're not falling asleep on there.
Right.
And even then.
No, gosh, yeah. So that's definitely a platform I need to explore more. But Instagram and Facebook seem to be really more geared towards the live streams, which I like doing a lot more.
Are you going to regale us with a composition, a live performance?
I could play a little bit. Yeah, since I'm here, I might as well. Yeah.
You're teasing us with the piano. We've been looking at this piano.
So, oh yeah, just a side note. Just a side note. I did pick up a couple purchases recently. So these bigger books here, they're not my personal music, but I love film music, obviously. And so two of the finds that I came by are the score from The Matrix. So this is actually like all the film cues broken down, note by note, instrument by instrument, bit by bit, and you can go through the whole entire film and just kind of follow along. And it's been on my bucket list for a while, so I picked that up, and then I went with a completely contrasting score, which is Alan Silvestri's Back to the Future. So, yes, just like, and it's amazing to see the amount of time and effort that gets put in to the people that have to edit these pieces and put it out, and they just break it down for you little bit by little bit, and so you can follow scene by scene. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever for a nerd like me.
Silvestri really does have his own kind of sound.
He does.
I was skimming through Predator the other day, and
That's
it
right.
was
He
like,
did that. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what's the Back to the Future soundtrack doing on this movie?
Well, and then of course, was it
Mama says, life's
the
like a box of chocolates.
yeah, the feather theme, and all that. Yeah, Silvestri definitely has his own style. The most recent score of his, let me see, because I did watch all the Avengers films. I forgot he did the Avengers films.
Yeah, the Avengers,
right.
the original, the first Avengers. They brought him back later on, like after 2 or 3 movies, they brought him back.
So, because I know he did Infinity War, and I think he did Endgame as well. But what is it?
Ultron and
Ultron he didn't do, right? Ultron he didn't do,
and Civil War I think was
Civil War he didn't do as well, right?
He didn't do those.
What was it? Ready Player One was one of the recent scores that I listened to of his, and Ready Player One's is just really cool mashup of just like retro stuff and future tech, and it's kind of like this virtual Tron world and Back to the Future. I love that score of his. That was amazing. But yeah, I could play a little bit if y'all want me to.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
Please.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a go.
Yay.
How are the levels coming through, by the way? Because I don't know. Is it coming through clear on your end?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yay. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always nice getting a chance to just kind of go live like that and seeing what happens, because with a lot of these, even with Socially Distant Fest and whatnot, I don't really plan what's going to happen and just kind of take an idea, run with it, see where it leads me, and just kind of. That's why I keep going back to telling my students a lot of times, it's like piano is kind of like that one instrument that you just have all these colors at your fingertips, you know?
I want to learn.
It's,
I've
you know,
always been a dabbler.
I've always told a lot of people that, you know, piano is the easiest instrument to start, but it's the most difficult instrument to master.
Mm.
You know, it just is. It's a lot to deal with in terms of just like producing a decent sound out of the instrument. You know, I like to tell my piano students we're pulling color out of the instrument. We're kind of like, and we're trying to not, you know, strike the key. We're trying to go through it. We're trying to, you know, kind of dig deeper. You know, it's really easy for students to, you know, like bang on an instrument or pound on an instrument. You know, that verbiage and that wording, that, you know, you hear that a lot. You know, don't pound or hit the keys. You know, so with my piano students, although I don't have a lot of private students currently, the ones that I have worked through over time, you know, we try to work with that a lot. You know.
And I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was somebody was telling me the other day. I was seeing because Perla, my daughter, wasn't interested in the violin, so I said, "What about
Uh-huh.
the piano?" But because her friends, her besties at school, they take piano lessons. And then I was told that you have to have like a real piano to get
Yeah.
lessons. So you can't do it with a keyboard, right?
So some piano teachers will be more, you know, lenient with the whole digital electric side versus an acoustic instrument. I've had to kind of be a little more lenient myself just because not everybody is going to go out and get an acoustic instrument, and I get it from the parent's perspective to a certain degree. If I don't know my student's going to be interested, or if I don't know if my child's going to be interested in the instrument, why would I go out and spend, you know, X amount thousands of dollars on an acoustic instrument if I don't know they're going to stick with it? It's a fair argument. The flip
Right.
side is that to develop that tone and to develop that technique and to develop all of the mechanics of playing properly, it's important to have an instrument to build upon, you know, and a
Yeah.
digital, you know. So for me, I mean, when I'm adapting my playing from here and then when I'm using it on my digital electric piano, it's a totally different feel. But I mean, because I've used this for so long, it's easy to
You
go
can
from one to the other.
do
Yeah,
both.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, you
I
know.
get it.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess some teachers or instructors are just more strict, but
of course,
and then you have to
yeah,
have room for a piano in your house or your apartment. So
absolutely, absolutely. Room consideration is huge. And you know, I mean, even just, you know, a decent upright, you know, especially with like the higher end models, that can run a fair amount for, you know, a family just starting off. So not everybody wants to do that, you know.
well, I love hearing all the stuff that you're working on. Congratulations on your new album, and I hope all the success to you. Um, Rory, Renee, do you guys have any more comments or questions you would like to add on before we close it out?
It's great seeing you again. You know, great to hear your music as always.
Thank you all. And it's been wonderful seeing all of you. It's a wonderful time getting a chance to come on here and just kind of just dish about life in general, I suppose.
Yes, and everybody, if you're whoever's watching and replay people, if you're not following Travis Lohmann, go follow Travis Lohmann on Facebook, Instagram,
And
TikTok.
connect to him on TikTok.
Yes,
So you can get those
reach
1,000
out.
followers.
Reach out if you need private lessons or maybe just some general music advice because he's a teacher and he knows everything. He can give you the answer.
Oh,
And if you
I
take a
will
trip in
try.
Vegas, he's too busy. He can't come see you. Okay.
I will try my best to give you all the answers. Yes.
All right, and next week, Rory, we don't have a show because it's Halloween, so
Right.
trick or treat, everybody.
Well, we're
have a
doing the Big
great,
Monster
safe
Breaking, and we're going to do
Halloween.
The Exorcist. But yeah, I understand. We're not going to be doing this one because you have kids to take out trick or treating. Yeah.
Yes, I have
Understood.
to dress up. And then we'll see everybody Saturday on Cosmos. All day is going to be Jay's Jam Fest, his last Jam Fest of the year, I believe. So everybody stay
Wow.
tuned for Saturday. Tune in on to Cosmos on Saturday for that. And thank you to our executive producer, Renee Yaworsky, for coming tonight on the show. Love having you.
Yay, thank you. You know,
Yes.
Travis is the best guest ever. And
Oh.
he really is, though. Everybody always says that. So it's absolutely true. And we're so grateful to have you, Travis. And Sandy, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I love spending time
Love
with
you.
you.
And
Thanks,
love everybody. And
I love you
we'll
too,
see
Rory, but I already see Rory. So I didn't need to say that, Rory.
What am I,
you
chopped
already know
liver?
I love you.
What am I talking? I love you guys. Travis, we'll be in touch. And yeah, everybody have a safe Halloween next week, and we'll see you Saturday for the Jam Fest. There's gonna be a dress up, a costume. Everybody's gonna be in costume, so that'll be fun. So we have awesome things to look forward to, and until next time, nano.
Until
Bye,
next time,
everybody.
all.
Squeeze
Thanks
out
a
that
lot.
panda. That
All
poor panda
right.
stuck in that bamboo there. You got to squeeze him out of there.
I totally should for sure. I totally should for sure. There we go. Now he's got
Aw,
his space.
So
that's so
now he can
cute.
breathe.
When the pandas are in San Diego Zoo now, they can come see the pandas.
Oh my
They just
gosh,
came
I
back to
need
the
to.
zoo.
Oh,
Bye,
that'd be awesome.
everybody.